Hi, I'm Joe McGrath with Beyond the Beachhead Tours with a brief video on book recommendations on the topic of D-Day in Normandy. If you don't already know, Beyond the Beachhead is my company. I'll be leading a 4-day tour of the Normandy beaches and battlefields starting on May 18th of next year. And if you're interested and haven't already done so, please sign up. We'd love to have you. So these books, this is not a comprehensive list. This D-Day topic has been written about maybe more than any other aspect of World War II. There's a ton of books out there, and I've read a lot of them. But these are 5 books that came to mind that I think you might enjoy if you have some downtime between Christmas and New Year's, or early in the new year, and you're looking for a deeper understanding about the battle. Here we go. The first book, you may recognize this one. The author is Cornelius Ryan, and the book is The Longest Day. This is the oldest book that I'll be talking about today, written in the late 50s. Ryan was able to interview dozens of Normandy participants, both combatants and civilians, and a number of people. And he tells the story of the battle of that day through the eyes of a handful of characters. There's an American paratrooper. There's a British private waiting ashore on the beach. There's a French commando. There are German defenders, Norman civilians. And he takes each of these characters and he weaves their story together to tell the story of this day in a really dramatic and readable way. It's a real page turner. It has survived through the ages, and I can't recommend this book enough. Great little book, Cornelius Ryan, The Longest Day. The second book I'll recommend is the newest book on the list, and it's called Normandy 44 by James Holland. James Holland is a British author. He's written a number of best-selling popular history books about World War II, and this is one of them. The subtitle is D-Day and the Epic 77-Day Battle for France, which really describes the contents well. So unlike Cornelius Ryan's book, this book tells the story not just of D-Day, but of the entire Normandy campaign, more than 2 months, from the planning to the landings to the really brutal fighting that took place in and around Normandy until the eventual breakout in late August that would sweep the Allies across France, across Northern Europe, and to victory in the West in 1945. Another wonderful book, very comprehensive, very in-depth, but also very readable. The third book I want to recommend is called Utah Beach by Joseph Balkowski. And Utah Beach is about that, one of the 2 American landing beaches, Utah and Omaha. The 4th Infantry Division landed at Utah Beach, and we will be going to Utah Beach on day 3 of our tour. But what I really like about this book is it doesn't just tell the story of the beach landing, which it does really well. It also tells the story of the airborne landings behind the beach by 2 American airborne divisions, the 101st and the 82nd divisions, that helped secure this victory and were really vital. So you've got the airborne landings, you've got the beach landing, and it's all woven into one story here. Again, lots of firsthand accounts by the guys who actually did the fighting. And the airborne landings behind Utah Beach are day 1 of our tour. Utah Beach is day 3. So if you read this book, you're going to get a pretty in-depth understanding of 2 of the 4 days of the tour. The next book is by an author named John McManus, and it's called The Dead and Those About to Die. The subtitle is The Big Red One at Omaha Beach. Omaha Beach is the other American beach, sometimes called Bloody Omaha. This was the beach where our forces, it was the most close-run thing. Some of you may be familiar with the movie Saving Private Ryan. The opening sequence of Saving Private Ryan is a dramatization of what happened on Omaha Beach. The big one was the 1st Infantry Division, and they were responsible for this landing. And this book does a great job of telling their story in an in-depth way. The preparations for the landing, the defenders and how they prepared, analysis of forces, and then how it all unfolded. Again, very dramatic, very compelling, lots of firsthand. McManus is a wonderful author. He's written a number of best-selling books on the U.S. Army in World War II. This is one of them. Strongly recommend that. The last book that I'm going to recommend, I don't have the book with me. I lent my copy out, but I read it years ago. It's Pegasus Bridge by Stephen Ambrose. I printed out the cover. You may recognize that name, Stephen Ambrose. He was the author of Band of Brothers, the book that the movie was later, that series was later based on. And Ambrose was the popular historian that really reignited interest, among Americans at least, interest in World War II, and particularly in D-Day and the Greatest Generation. If there's one person who's responsible for the wave of popularity, I would say that it's him. And Band of Brothers was the book that really kicked that off. Pegasus Bridge, however, this book was written before Band of Brothers. And it doesn't cover Americans on D-Day. It covers the British airborne landings. These were not paratroopers. These were glider-borne assault troops. And they had a vital mission to seize and hold a very strategic bridge on the left flank of the Allied landings. It was almost like a commando raid, very bold, very risky, very dangerous, super dramatic. And this book does a wonderful job of recanting that story, retelling that story. No spoilers. I'm not going to tell you how it turned out, but Pegasus Bridge is day 2 of our tour, and we will walk that bridge and walk that battlefield and relive those events. So those are my five books. If you're looking for a more in-depth understanding of the things we're going to see on the tour, if you're coming on the tour and you've already signed up, thank you. I appreciate that. Don't feel like you have to read these or anything else. You don't. You have a tour guide who has researched and read in depth, and we'll bring that all to you, all the information, the drama, the excitement of what happened that day on those beaches and battlefields. But if you're looking for an in-depth knowledge, here's 5 books I would suggest among the many that do a particularly good job, I think. Again, if you're interested in the tour and in D-Day and have not yet signed up, I'd invite you to. The number of slots is limited, but there are a few left. You can private message me, you can email me, you can go to my website, beyondthebeachhead.com, and details are there how you can secure your spot on the tour. From all of us here at Beyond the Beachhead, we wish you a very happy new year. Enjoy your reading, and thanks for taking the time.